Well, hello everyone and welcome to Momentum channel. In this video, we're going to be talking about two high quality Dividend King stocks that are considered to be undervalued at this time. They are also showing very fast dividend growth and are perfect for dividend investors. Let's get into it. Our very first company to review is a company called H.B. Fuller. It is available with ticker symbol FUL. It's a materials sector business focusing in specialty chemicals. It last increased its dividend back in April of 2022, where they increased it by 13%, marking a very fast dividend growth. HB Fuller currently has a dividend yield of 1.22%, and the last trading price for it was at $62.42. From a market capitalization perspective, HB Fuller has a market cap of $3.32 billion, making it a mid-cap size business. As for the stock price volatility, HB Fuller has a beta score of 0.93. Beta is a measure of volatility, and a beta of 1 suggests stock price volatility typical to that of the overall stock market. Given that here the beta is less than 1, we are anticipating less stock volatility for HB Fuller. HB Fuller formulates, manufactures, and markets adhesives, sealants, coatings, polymers, tapes, encapsulants, additives, and other specialty chemical products worldwide. And the business was founded in 1887 and is headquartered in St. Paul, Minnesota. Looking at the key metrics for its dividend, HB Fuller has a payout ratio at only 17%, and its forward payout ratio for its dividend is only at 16%, both of which are very low for most companies, which is a good sign for this business because it allows them a ton of room to continue to increase and grow their dividend for many, many years to come. As for their dividend payment streak, they are looking at the past 52 years, whereby they have paid their dividend without any reduction. And what's noticeable is that in all of those years, they have increased it year after year. If you look at the dividend growth history, in the past 20 years, they've grown it by 6% per year, and it is marking an average growth. In the past 5 years, they've grown it by 4 years annually, but in the last increase, as I indicated earlier, back in April 2022, they increased it by 13%, marking a very fast dividend growth. They do currently pay a dividend yield of around 1.29%, as we talked about earlier on, as you noticed, around 1.22% to be more accurate. And it equates to annual payout of currently 0.76 or about 76 cents per share. HB Fuller does pay its dividend quarterly, and it's paid in the months of February, May, July, and October. Looking at the timeliness for this stock, their dividend yield is about in line with their 5-year average. It's indicated here. If you look at it, their 5-year average is at 1.21. Currently, they're sitting at 1.22. As for their forward price to earnings ratio, which is currently sitting at 13.5, it is slightly less than their usual 5-year average of 15.3. All in all, suggests that the stock looks reasonably valued for investors. Looking at the price range, though, in the past 1 year, the highest price for the stock was at $81.51, and the lowest was at $58.52. Their last trading price is hovering a lot closer to their 52-week low price. We are going to take a look at a number of additional financial metrics. For example, we're looking at the earnings per share. Ideally, you like this adjusted earnings per share to show a nice steady growth, but here we see a little bit of that, decline towards the years of 2014 and 15, and a little bit of that cyclicality. You see a couple of years, for example, 14 and 15, you see the decline. Then 2016 and 17 started having earnings per share pick up. You see that growth continuously from there, with the exception of 2020, all the way in the last 12 months, showing $3.79 in earnings per share, which is the highest that they've had on record for the past 10 years. In the next 12 months, we are estimating and expecting their earnings per share to be at $4.64, which is positive because it should be showing a 22% increase. As for their revenue, that's another piece we would like to see, the total sales or revenue. Here it's shown in $1 billion. And in the last 12 months, this business has shown $3.57 billion in total sales, which is the highest that they've recorded in the past 10 years. As for outstanding shares, ideally, we'd like to see the businesses that have more of a share buyback if they are profitable, and the number of outstanding shares declining. Here is not the case. In fact, the number of outstanding shares is gradually growing, but the pace that they're growing it is not necessarily the fastest. And they're currently in the last 12 months indicating a 55 million outstanding shares. Although that shows almost like a 10% increase compared to 2012 or 10 years ago, it is still the pace not the most of a red flag, given that it's fairly gradually increasing at least. Lastly, we are going to take a look at their operating margin. Ideally, we'd like to see for most companies, the operating margin is at 12% or higher. Although this business has not hit that, but it's fairly close to that. In fact, the last 12 months, they're showing to have a operating margin of 9%, which is slightly lower than the highest that they've had in the past 10 years. But for the most part, they're hovering around that 8 to 9%, as you notice, in terms of their operating margin. We're now going to take a look at their past performance of the stock. In the past 1 year, the H.B. Fuller company is showing fairly stagnant stock, up by almost about 0.5%. If you look at the longer time horizon, let's say the past 5 years, the stock is showing to be up by close to 20%. In the past 10 years, though, the stock is showing much better returns of a cumulative 113% plus return. Estimation for the revenue estimates, if you look at it for the 2020, they're estimated to have $3.84 billion, and then the following year, in 2023, they're estimated to have $3.98 billion in total revenue. With that, let us take a look at our second pick, another materials company that is a Dividend King stock, perfect for dividend investors. Dividend Kings, as you may know, are the businesses that have been paying and increasing their dividends for 50 years or more. This business is called Stepan Company with ticker symbol SCL. It's another materials business, which is specialty chemicals, with a dividend yield of 1.29%. Has a dividend safety score of 99, marking it a very safe dividend. And as promised, is another fast dividend grower. In fact, in October of 2021, that's when they last increased their dividend, which it was increased by 9.8%. Stepan Company has a market cap of 2.33 billion, and it was last traded for the price of $104.19. From a volatility perspective, it is less volatile than the other pick that we looked at, with a beta score of only at 0.63. Stepan Company produces and sells specialty and intermediate chemicals to other manufacturers for use in various end products. It operates through 3 segments, including surfactants, polymers, and specialty products. The Stepan Company was founded in 1932 and is headquartered in Northbrook, Illinois. As for their dividend key metrics, you notice that their current payout ratio is at 21% and their forward payout ratio at 19%, both of them suggesting to be very low, giving them a lot of room for increasing their dividend payments. They have been paying their dividend without a reduction in the past 55 years. In all of those years, they've increased it year after year, suggesting a wonderful Dividend King stock here for us. They last increased their dividend by 9.8%, as indicated earlier. In the last 10 years, they've increased it by 10% per year, which is a fast dividend growth. And in the past 20 years, their average annualized dividend growth is at 7%. As for their payment details for the dividend, they do pay their dividend quarterly in the months of March, June, September, and December, and they have currently an annual payout of $1.34 per share. Looking at the timeliness for the stock, their dividend yield, which is at 1.29%, is in line slightly with their 5-year average, but up by about 18%. So it's about 18% higher than the past average of 5 years. As for their forward price to earnings ratio, it is indicating to be lower than the usual forward price to earnings ratio, which is at 17.5. All in all, suggesting that the SCL business may be considered to be undervalued. Looking at the past 1 year price range for this stock, the last trading price is hovering a lot closer to the 52-week low price of $95.78. And in the past 1 year, the highest price that the stock has hit was at $128.41. As for the earnings per share, we are seeing that overall nice growth and upward trends since 2015. You're seeing year after year growing for the most part. With the last 12 months showing at $6.11 earnings per share, and the next 12 months at $6.89. As for their total sales, if you look at it, we are showing the last 12 months at $2.48 billion in total sales, which is the highest that they had in the past 10 years. As for the operating margin, within the past 10 years, they've maintained it between 5 to 8%. Although they don't meet that threshold of 12%, the business has been able to maintain and grow its dividend year after year, marking it a high quality Dividend King stocks. Definitely a good option for investors to consider. Although in the past 1 year, from a stock price return, they are down by almost 11%. In the longer term horizon, in fact, in the past 5 years, they're showing a cumulative return of close to 14%. And in the past 10 years, they are showing a cumulative return of almost 135%. If you look at it even longer in the max return, since let's say early 1992, they're showing a cumulative return of almost 1000% return. But this is, of course, we're talking about much longer return horizon, almost like the past 30 or so years. Well, there you have it, folks. A quick look into two high quality Dividend King stocks that are perfect for dividend investors in the stock market. What dividend paying stocks are you currently looking into and investing in? We'd love to hear from you. So leave us a comment down below and share those with us. As always, if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel. Here on Momentum Finance, we post every week several videos about investing, including investing in dividend stocks, growth stocks, penny stocks. You'll talk about investing in crypto and ways to reach financial freedom. Thank you, and I hope to see you next time.